Good morning, I'm senior producer Brock Kohler in for Craig Negrelli, and it's Friday, December 20th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
This morning, a potential government shutdown still looms as the midnight deadline approaches, with the latest bill being rejected Thursday night. Reporter Lauren Taylor has the latest on what occurred in Washington.
On this vote, the yeas are 174, the nays are 235, one voting present, two-thirds not being in the affirmative. The rules are not suspended and the bill is not passed.
The House of Representatives rejected a bill that would have kept the government open and avoided a shutdown. The bill fell short of the needed two-thirds majority to speed up its passage ahead of a potential shutdown that would start at midnight Saturday morning. The latest spending bill, known as a continuing resolution, is a quickly amended bill tailored to the liking of President-elect Donald Trump and his top ally, Elon Musk. Now there are two conflicting interests. Musk wants major government spending cuts, and while President-elect Trump agrees, he also wants to permanently suspend the debt ceiling, America's limit on its ability to borrow for government spending. The new plan lifts the debt limit, leading President-elect Donald Trump to post on his social network platform Truth Social in favor of the bill. Now we can make America great again, very quickly, which is what the people gave us a mandate to accomplish, Trump posted. It will now be on Speaker Johnson to figure out a bill that would win the support of the majority of the House. But Johnson may not have the political leeway to rely on support from Democrats, as he'll need nearly every returning member of the House Republican caucus to vote for him next month, if he hopes to remain Speaker in the new Congress, getting sworn into office in the new year.
Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, is being held this morning in a New York federal prison. This comes after he made his first appearance in a New York courtroom Thursday, and 4 new federal charges were levied against him. Once again, here's our Lauren Taylor.
Law enforcement officials extradited Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, to New York Thursday. The judge read all 4 federal charges filed against Mangione, including murder with a firearm, which is punishable by the death penalty. Law enforcement moved Mangione from Pennsylvania, where he was arrested and has been held since last week, to New York. Armed guards surrounded Mangione as NYPD officers walked him off a helicopter upon his arrival in Manhattan. Mangione already faces state-level charges in New York. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg brought charges Tuesday against Mangione, including for murder as an act of terrorism. But Mangione also received a hero's welcome from some protesters outside the federal courthouse. The killing of the 50-year-old Thompson sparked backlash against the health insurance industry and their limitations on and denials of coverage to patients. While no dates have been set, Mangione will face state-level charges first, before then proceeding to his federal trial.
Drones are now banned in parts of New York as well as New Jersey, at least for the time being. This comes as an investigation is underway into multiple sightings over the last month that set off fear and speculation. In a statement, the New York governor said that FAA's bans are, quote, purely precautionary. And, as our Kara Rucker reports, the restrictions in New Jersey are largely aimed at limiting drone flights over power stations and infrastructure.
The Federal Aviation Administration imposed emergency flight restrictions across multiple New Jersey locations Thursday, banning drone operations through January 17th for special security reasons. The directive prohibits uncrewed aircraft within a 1 nautical mile radius and up to 400 feet in altitude, unless operators receive special government clearance. The FAA designated major hubs like Camden, Jersey City, Elizabeth, and South Brunswick as national defense airspace. Violators could face severe penalties, including interception, detention, certificate revocation, and potential criminal charges. In extreme cases, authorities may use deadly force against drones posing an imminent security threat. The restrictions follow a surge in unexplained drone sightings across New Jersey and nearby states that began in mid-November. Federal agencies, including the FBI and Department of Defense, have received over 5,000 reports.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average snapped back Thursday, ending its worst losing streak in 50 years. Our Simone Del Rosario takes a look at the week that was on Wall Street.
That's right. The Dow Jones 10-day losing streak is the longest since 1974. The market has wiped out all of its post-election gains just like that. The Dow ended Wednesday down 2.5% since Donald Trump won the election. Also on Wednesday, Wall Street's fear gauge, the volatility index, had its second biggest percentage spike in history. The VIX shot up 74% after the Federal Reserve shared its outlook for the coming year. Now, usually when the Fed does what markets expect, investors take the news in stride. On Wednesday, the Fed cut its benchmark interest rate for the third time in 2024, which was widely predicted. The Fed went from projecting 4 cuts in 2025 to now projecting just 2. They also expect inflation to be higher next year than previously forecast, which translates to a higher for longer interest rate policy. As of Thursday morning, the probability market isn't favoring another Fed cut until May. Wednesday marked the worst performance on record for the S&P 500 during a Fed interest rate announcement day, according to Bespoke Investment Group. But the biggest market losses since the election are more isolated to the Dow. If you zoom out for the bigger picture, the entire market's up double digits on the year. The tech-heavy NASDAQ has the highest gains, followed by the S&P 500 and then the Dow. But it's 2024, and those gains are a far cry from Fartcoin, up more than 3,000%.
Finally this morning, with the holiday season full gear, our lifestyle correspondent Kennedy Felton takes a look at what's called the holiday blues, a condition that can affect many people this time of year.
I think there must be something wrong with me, Linus. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy.
The holidays are often described as the most wonderful time of the year, but just like Chuck in A Charlie Brown Christmas, this season can bring about feelings of sadness and stress, what many know as the holiday blues or seasonal affective disorder.
Really, the holiday time is just like a perfect collision of a lot of factors that can affect our mental health.
Licensed adult psychiatrist Dr. Patrice Mann tells me the holiday blues often stem from social pressures, disruptive routines, and even financial strain.
Things like having a bunch of holiday events on the calendar. Not to say we don't look forward to them oftentimes, but they take a toll on us. You leave, you're up late. Sometimes you're like interacting with a lot of people, and that's not everyone's nature.
Dr. Mann also says grief and seasonal depression can complicate these feelings. It's a disorder the National Institute of Mental Health reports affects millions of Americans every year, but many may not even know they have it.
Being that we have these shorter days, there's much less sunlight, there's much less just of that kind of energizing boost that sunlight really does have in terms of providing us, like our brain, the alert kind of, it's daytime, it's time to do things signal, and giving us vitamin D.
Symptoms to watch out for include a persistent depressed mood, losing interest in activities you once enjoyed, and an overall change in your normal routines like eating and sleeping habits. If symptoms persist for more than 2 weeks, Dr. Mann suggests it can be a more serious issue, like a depressive episode. In such cases, seeking professional help is important, but there are also self-care strategies that can help with both holiday blues and seasonal depression. She also recommends getting tested for a vitamin D deficiency and taking supplements during winter months, which could help with both mood and energy levels.
These are your unbiased updates for this Friday. We'll see you back here Monday. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Brock Kohler. Have a great weekend.